Well, I don't know how many years on this earth I got left. I'm gonna get real weird with it.
Hello and welcome to Sci-Fails, where we look at some bad explanations of alleged science. It's usually pseudoscience. I haven't got a tagline for this section yet, but I'm trying to revamp it. So we'll see how this does and how covering this type of topic does. Because this, I had something completely different set up today, some animal related, but this popped into my feed while I was scrolling through some anti-vegan channels that popped up, and this came through, and I just wanted to. I thought, oh man, this has to be my topic for today, right? And this has to be, this has to be what I cover, because holy crap, is this outdated, old-timey? What the heck is that? There we go. Old-timey ideas about estrogen. This is a clip. This is one within the last year. Synthetic estrogen is creating soy beta American males. This is from a show called the Chad Prather Show. Pretty big, 367K subscribers. This video's had about 3,500 subscribers since July of 5th of 2022, talking about estrogen. So let's hear what they have to say. You already don't like him. D. Give the guy let the guy speak at least first. Of course, with a name like Chad Prather, we'll see.
About the break, and I always talk about. So we were talking about real quick. I want to talk about this before we go to our TikTok segment. You were talking about the break, and I always talk about this. My belly and stuff. That's estrogen. It's not a beer belly anymore. It's an estrogen belly.
Okay.
I got a couple of female dogs. I got 3 daughters. I got 2 ex-wives, which means I got 2 ex-mother-in-laws and a mother. I got so much estrogen in my life, but it's coming from everywhere.
That's a lot of estrogen. Yeah.
Yeah, the estrogen from so. It'll turn, if you are around women at all, you will turn into a woman. It's true. I've been around, I used to be a guy, and I hung around women, and now look at me. It actually rubs off on you, especially if you have sex with women. If you have sex with women, you will get infected with their estrogen and grow breast.
And you're lathering up in it every day. I'm telling you, you are consuming thousands
like
of synthetic
soap and
estrogens.
Shampoo?
Yeah. Everything. I mean, every time you touch your phone or wear polyester or plastics, vinyls, pharmaceuticals, they're all made of synthetic estrogens. The chemicals.
And they will all turn you into a beta cuck male, a soy boy, if you will.
are synthetic estrogens, and you're being estrogenized, and we all are. Everyone is.
That sounds funny to say, but that's really happening.
It is true. And so that is why the younger generations, I mean, I can tell by look.
Like, I stayed away from women all my life to keep my manliness. Like, what is this? This is the manosphere, right? This is where we are at in 2024 with these guys. Literally touching, or even just talking about just being about a female dog. You have a female dog, you're getting estrogen from that dog, this guy says. Holy shit.
Looking at these men that they are more effeminate than the older generations because we have more and more and more.
Yeah, for real, Ember. It's like, ooh, gotta rub my phone on my face. Instead of going and doing electrolysis, let's just rub our phones on our faces and feminize them.
Or chemicals. I mean, your great-great-grandmother never took in all of these amazing chemicals that make our lives longer. And I mean, I'm not being critical. Modern sanitation's built on chemicals and petrochemicals. You and I don't.
So yeah, this is like, since Grandma didn't have this, that we shouldn't have it. Even though it makes us live longer, healthier lives, because it makes us more girly. Is that more feminine? Is that the worry that you might like coming from out of a fugue state and find yourself in a ball gown or something?
Don't want to live a single day without chemicals. I'm just saying, it's no one's job to police like the cumulative effects all these chemicals onto people, and that's probably why we
It's a fever dream. This is a fever dream.
have infertility problems and weight gain and low testosterone and all the
And beta males and soy
socialists.
boys.
Yes, they vote socialist
Oh,
because
there we go. Beta males and soy boys, and they vote socialist. Did you hear that? Play that again.
testosterone and all the
And beta males and soy
socialists.
boys.
Yes, they vote socialist because of this, I believe, is my theory. I'm just going to tell you the truth. And I can sniff out a testosterone level from across the room. I can absolutely rank men from
Where
across
am
the
I at?
room. You're actually pretty high.
Am I putting out the vibe pretty
that's
strong?
why you're so assured that you can actually claim you have this problem. But
Yeah.
no, you're doing great.
All right, good.
You're holding steady.
And it's not toxic either. Like I'll take a heavy dose of toxicity on the male side before I'll take the estrogen any day.
Absolutely.
100%.
The truth is, women want it. Okay, like I mean, I know I'm not the only one. We're dying for some like testosterone leadership, and
Yeah.
and I mean, I miss the '90s because there was more of it floating around in the air. I remember.
Jackie needs to come on this show weekly.
I'll keep you up to date on this, and
I'm telling
Yeah.
you,
absolutely.
you are providing real solutions. I'm going to take extra testosterone shots. I'm gonna supplement myself. I may
you
die of a heart
sponsored-
attack, but
is
by
that
God, I will have more
testosterone?
hair on my chest and ass.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
Pumping
Yes.
iron is key to it too. You can actually raise your
Because that's how it works. The more testosterone you have, the more man you are. So if you're like, you just replace all your blood with just testosterone, you'll be the manliest man. That's how it works, right?
testosterone.
Yeah.
Yeah. By just going to the
And I like the correlation that's being drawn here that like being feminine is socialist.
gym
Yeah.
or whatever, just lifting weights.
Yeah.
Because supposedly the synthetic testosterone can harm your ability to make your own.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, if you can't make your own because you're inundated constantly,
Yeah, she's what do the manosphere say about women this age, that they're it's not past their prime. What's the term? Drop it in the side chat and I'll say there's a term that they use for them. I know that there's high value or low value women or whatever that they say. What's the term for a woman who it doesn't have good eggs or whatever, some crap like that?
with these estrogens, you cannot flee. They're ubiquitous. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
We're inhaling them right now. Like the cleaners that are on the floor and the fumes that come off of them.
We don't
You're
clean this
smelling
place.
synthetic estrogen. Okay, well, maybe once we step in the hall.
Ew. But yeah, I think if you're so scared of breathing estrogen that you quit cleaning, I think that there's a problem there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you can't get away from it.
See, I've been telling. I'm always right. Now, you're not familiar enough with this show, but I'm prophetic. I mean, I'm always right. And I tell people this stuff, and they're
too.
like, you're a conspiracy theorist. And I'm like, look, I'm only 2 weeks away from the reality.
Yeah, that was that guy's pretty wacky in my opinion. So that got me down this rabbit hole though, and I ended up finding this. This is his channel, by the way, if you want to see what other stuff that this guy has to say. Powerful story of a SA survivor. So kind of. I don't know if, I don't want to paint him as a Q person, but there's some wacky stuff in here. Values in modern music is shaping culture more than you think. So we got AOC, Democrats run America is crumbling in its own stupidity. Medical malpractice in the VA. Now that's a serious topic right there. I play guitar too. Maybe we could play together, Chad. You wanna jam sometime? We can do some coverage of what's the dude's name? The Fudge Round guy. Anthony, something Anthony. Yeah. Yeah. Is Gen Z going conservative? You wish. I just had a whole ton of them in my house this morning. They seem pretty lefty to me. All right. Yeah. So, I found this freaking documentary that just grilled my onions.
This is the high school class of 1980. This is the class of 2000. And this is the class of 2020. Notice anything different between these two
Yeah, that last group you showed was all people of Asian ancestry. Is that the difference? And the first group's all white people?
images? Look at the men. Now look at the picture from the
Yeah, let's see. So you're comparing mixed-sex Caucasians to what appears to be a group of Asian graduates. Did you not think people were going to notice that you picked different ethnicities because our standards of attractiveness are based on European beauty standards, that a man has to have a big chiseled jaw, and that's not as common in certain Asian populations, Asian haplogroups? Was that, and you thought, oh, well, I'll just show a bunch of a group of people that are from this haplogroup compared to that haplogroup and call this one more feminine and call it a day, and then say it's because of time, not because of these other geographic factors.
class of 2020. You don't see men, do you? Those are boys, aren't they?
Are you a man who feels like you're losing your edge? Are you getting all you can from your workouts? Are you satisfied with your romantic life?
Researchers have found that male sperm count has plummeted by 50%.
It's like this is like what you the kind of ads you get when you watch Fox News and stuff like that. When was your birthday? Oh, happy belated birthday, Native Atheist. I mean, it was Tsumami's birthday too. I could probably sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. All right, there you go. That's about as much as you're getting out of me. I've said that before. I was thinking about half a bar before I get too shy to sing anymore. Unless I've been drinking, but I don't usually drink it these days.
Since the 1970s.
Erectile dysfunction, social anxiety, low confidence, fear of talking to women, obesity, low sperm counts, difficulty building muscle, depression, and lack of motivation. They're all problems modern men are facing more than any generation ever before.
I kept feeling worse and worse. I had no energy at all. And no.
Was that Tobey Maguire? They're using Tobey Maguire as a weak man? It's fucking Spider-Man.
Sex drive either, but I could feel something just wasn't right. It didn't happen
It's Tobey
overnight.
Maguire. It's from is that Jarhead? But yeah. Tobey Maguire is not somebody you should be showing. And this is the brainwashing. This is why men don't go seek like mental health care and things like that, because you're conditioned that's weak. That you're a weak man if you do that. It's a sign of weakness.
And then I was diagnosed with depression when I realized that something was seriously wrong with me. And then I figured out that this might have something to do with a testosterone deficiency.
They're all associated with lower testosterone level.
It's said testosterone is the hormone that makes men, well, men. It sculpts the male body, increases...
You get some manosphere, see, and this is what, they're like, no, you go near a woman, you should, you'll get estrogen in you and it'll unmanify you. Here, look at this mostly naked man flexing, and just focus on that instead. Anytime you start to feel like that you want to be around a woman, look at this.
muscle mass and bone strength, and molds the male mind, fueling libido, risk, and the pursuit of status.
Don't fuel your libido, though, because your libido will make you want to be around women. You go around women, as we just saw Chad say, you can get it just from... If you have a female dog, you can rub up against it. And what you need to do is get yourself a male dog. Every time that you start to feel your libido flaring up, you just cuddle up with your male dog. Yeah. I don't know where how these people can hold so many conflicting ideas in their heads at once.
Since 1950, the testosterone level in men have been dropping up to 1% a year.
In some context, the average 30-year-old guy today would have the same testosterone.
That's so. Smoking is one factor that comes into play for that lower testosterone levels. And also that we have the diet that Americans consume is going into the toilet, more so than it ever has in history. They show that we eat a lot more fast food. I could pull up some, I don't know, I could maybe drop some links or something below, but yeah, we eat a lot more fast food, that we're a lot more sedentary, especially since COVID. All of these things are evidence of an external factor, but not the external factor that they're about to draw here. This goes through the roof.
Levels as a guy who was 60 years old in 1950.
So what's causing such a rapid decrease in testosterone?
Soy. Does it feminize you? Does it give you man boobs? Does it?
Motherfucker, soy. Yes. We are back to the soy, you guys. Back to the soy. Did you miss the soy? Why does that keep dropping down like that? Hold on. Let me fix this.
Lower testosterone.
There's even like residual estrogen in our tap water because of birth control.
The massive influence of estradiol from the birth control pill, which leaks into the water table and does not get filtered out through municipal water supplies.
Tap water contains things like endocrine disruptors, hormone disruptors that can negatively impact reproductive health in males.
And the advent of BPAs and plastics, drinking and eating and touching a lot of these materials which leaks through our skin, get into our bodies and act as estrogen mimicking compounds.
The amount of testosterone in your body may be equivalent to a pinch of sugar in an Olympic swimming pool, and yet it has these profound effects.
However, the fact remains that men are becoming less of, well, men, not only in their behavior.
So, warning, and my volume's probably going to be peaked up a little bit because I just did some adjustment on there. Warning, they're going to assume that that feminine men didn't exist until now, right? I've seen some of the art they put together. It's like really, really creepy. Like, oh, men are going to have breasts and everything in 2 or 3 generations. It gets pretty crackpot.
In their dress, but also in their biological makeup. Men now are weaker, slower, and less intelligent. We are, simply put, not the men our fathers are.
Humanity is facing a crisis right now. Men are
not the men our fathers are. So there's more to exemplify your manhood than to have high testosterone. It's what you do and how you interact with life. That's where your manhood lies. It's not about so much your biology as what you do with it. That's the way that I think of manhood or womanhood in general. It's an expression of that aspect of your person, not the biology of that. You can bring out your masculine characteristics or your feminine characteristics, more characteristics that make you feel more masculine, right? You can accentuate those. You can grow a beard a certain way, or you can wear a certain cut of t-shirt to be more masculine. You can shave your head. You can get tattoos, even, stuff like that might make you feel more masculine, depending on what the tattoo is. Obviously, if you get a butterfly tramp stamp, that might not work, but just in general. I have a 6-pack under my flabby belly. I had a 6-pack all my life until about 3 years ago, and my metabolism caught up with me. Yeah, Frank Turek had surgery. That's correct as well. This is a long documentary. I don't know if we're going to watch all of it, because I do want to get to the lobsters, and we only have about an hour left. So, but the lobster part's going to be kind of short. Anyway,
We're getting weaker and softer both mentally and physically, and it's all because of one thing: testosterone.
We're all getting old.
Low testosterone? Low testosterone.
Was that?
All because of one thing: testosterone.
So this is Troye Sivan on the end there. Troye Sivan did drag in that video. One of your girls. Oh my gosh, he looks gorgeous. But yeah, men with softer features, or what you'd consider maybe more feminine features, have always existed.
We're all getting older.
Low testosterone?
Dry.
Low testosterone.
Testosterone levels.
Performance.
Testosterone levels.
Sex drive. Be the best you can be.
Today, men are experiencing a population-level decline in testosterone levels, and it's happening to all men, including adolescent and young adult men. And why is this collapse in testosterone bad? Because testosterone is what makes men men.
I want to say another thing too, is that they say this comparison doesn't balance out, but you got to also take into consideration that every time I go to the doctors, well, not every time, like every well, for me it's different because I'm trans too, but every time even when I was not trans, every time I go to the doctor, they would do labs, right? Or every other time I went to the doctor, they would do labs, just a regular checkup to see how I'm doing. My father, for instance, didn't do that. My grandfather, I only have one that's still alive, he didn't start doing that till he got to be in his 70s. So it's also a who's reporting and what percentage of the population is reporting. If it's only the percentage of the population that are having medical problems. Older generations didn't go to the doctor regularly. It's just, Troy was young Logan in the first Wolverine. I didn't know that. Holy shit. I absolutely love that's true. Oh my god, I'm not doubting you. I want to check it out and see.
Testosterone is a very important male hormone. And if a man doesn't have any testosterone, he loses a lot of characteristics that makes him a man.
I mean, it's the male super hormone, right? It's the thing that drives us towards success. It's the thing that influences motivation, energy levels. And as men's testosterone drops, they get pudgy, they lack motivation, guys get man boobs. Like, it is the key hormone for men being man.
Testosterone is what gives us ambition, drive. It's what pushes us to achieve, to win, to dominate. It's what gives us our masculine features. To take away a man's testosterone is to take away everything that makes him a man. And yet, that is what modern society is systematic.
I can't help but think about. I'm glad I keep stopping it on Troy. Mwah. So cute. But they keep. I don't know how this could be any more homoerotic, right? But look at if like thin, feminine men have always been a sex icon since at least in modern media, right? I mean, even like look at the Rat Pack; those are not big bodybuilders. Look at the freaking look at the Beatles. The Beatles weren't ripped. You pretending that these archetypes, I don't know what to call them besides archetypes, didn't exist. The archetype's kind of more about a fictional thing. The teen heartthrob that girls are into. It's always been the more feminine characteristic people. Yeah, James Dean, thank you, Deep Arcs. That's a good example. A good example of historical figures that were considered like heartthrobs and were very feminine. This isn't a new phenomena. I think that people who don't fit this demographic might be salty about it, or that didn't fit this demographic anyway.
Exactly doing to you right now. And it's not even just testosterone. Between the years 1973 and 2011, male sperm count dropped by 59%. We have less than half the sperm count from just 50 years ago. And based on predictions, sperm count will reach 0 by 2045.
But there's lots of kids on there and like the
Good. Let our species die out, or at least mostly die out. I'm okay with that, especially if we do it at a healthy pace where we just don't we stop reproducing so much, as opposed to yeah, be careful, John. Goodness gracious. As opposed to how many kids people have now. The population decline is a good thing for the planet, right? Humans should reproduce like pandas. Maybe 1 in 5 couples should be reproductive, and that's about it. And I say this as somebody who, in my youth, I had multiple children. I wish that humans weren't so reproductive. I have 3 kids of my own. But that makes me sort of hypocritical. But I was a kid when I had kids. It's kind of silly to say, but yeah.
The bodybuilding communities who are in their late teens, early 20s, that are, a lot of them even, some not, but some getting their blood work done beforehand and having abysmal testosterone levels. They're talking about how their testosterones are in like the 1 to 200s nanograms per deciliter, which is on the very, very bottom of the scale. And these guys getting on testosterone because it's like, what's the trade-off? Like, do I start testosterone therapy and feel great, feel like a normal person, and be able to go to the gym and be healthy, and sacrifice not being able to have kids? Like, it's a very heated sort of topic because there's an obvious trade-off to doing that, but there's a huge advantage to doing it too because you feel so good when people feel so good when they do it.
Or in other words,
and also people smoke a lot more pot now, a lot more potent pot too, so that might have some contribution to low sperm count in the demographics that they're testing.
You don't do something about this? If you don't learn what's causing this drop in testosterone and sperm count, the survival of the human race is legitimately at stake here. So in this video, we're gonna go.
They're so mad about men in dresses. These people seethe about men in dresses. I'm trying to speed this up. Sorry if it's unbearably fast. I got it at 1.25 now, but yeah. We're going to get through it.
All the different things in our modern world that are attacking your testosterone right now, along with what you can do about it. And as you can see, this list is very, very long.
Over the last several years, the U.S. Geological Survey has tested the water. It found that something in the water is tampering with the hormones of 85% of the male smallmouth bass and a quarter of the male largemouth bass and causing them to develop female reproductive traits.
Actually, scientists call it male feminization. I mean, it's literally termed male feminization. Wow. If you expose animals to enough of these chemicals, you can turn a male frog into a female or a male animal into a female and all this kind of thing.
Stay dangerous, and this is the downfall of man.
So, almost 6 minutes in, we finally get to the soy. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I'll probably just watch the soy part, and then they move on to but we'll finish. We got microplastics. We got all kinds of sections here, but we'll watch the soy section since it ties to what we were watching earlier, and then we'll move on to the rainbow lobsters.
When soy was first brought into the US in 1804, American dairy farmers went crazy for it. This simple little bean was super cheap and super high in protein, which made it great for feeding cows. But soy also contains something else, extremely high levels of estrogen. If you don't know, estrogen is to females what testosterone is to males. Estrogen is what makes women women. But when estrogen levels become too high, especially in males, it can lead to a whole lot of problems like infertility, low testosterone, slow growth, shrinking muscle mass, and weight gain. And soy happens to have more estrogen than any other bean in existence. No, seriously, 1 cup of soybeans has the equivalent.
Now, they're going to do this conflation with phytoestrogen and like the estrogen that animals produce, right? Phytoestrogen comes from, it's produced by protein-rich beans, and I mean, like, what else is there? Flax seeds also have high phytoestrogen, but they're not the same type of estrogen that would feminize you. If freaking eating soy feminized you, I'd be super super stoked to just do that instead of having to go and get my estrogen.
Amount of estrogen as 20,000 cups of chickpeas, which made soy the perfect food for farmers to fatten up their cows. Thanks to the high estrogen contents, American farmers could feed their cows soy, and the estrogen would make cows super fat. And the fatter
yeah, estrogen doesn't make a woman, androgen doesn't make a man. This is all conflation of ideas that they think that if you have low testosterone, you're not a man. If you have high estrogen, you're not you're a woman, or if you have low estrogen, you're not a woman, or it's quite bizarre. And a little bit, there's a lot of misogyny in here.
the guts, the more money the farmers stood to make. And sure, it probably wasn't great that these farmers were force-feeding estrogen to their cows, and therefore force-feeding us estrogen through their meat and milk, but who cares? The cows were now bigger and juicier than ever, so no one complained. Soy became a miracle crop for the American meat industry, but soy also became great for the food.
It's not the phytoestrogen that made the cows get big. It's the bulk feeding heavy protein of soybeans. That's what causes the beef cows to become monstrous. It also causes pigs and chickens to get big too. It's a high protein food.
industry as a whole. Here was a super cheap protein alternative that could be molded into anything your heart desired. And so soy flourished amongst big food. Food companies all over the US started to create their own cheap soy food derivatives. Things like soybean oil, soy protein isolate, and soy flour were quickly seeping into the American food supply. Lay's chips could be fried in a blend of cheap canola, corn, and soy oil. Campbell's chicken noodle soup would get a dash of soy protein isolates. And Iam's dog food would get soybean meal. And before you know it, soy started to be found in so many different foods.
They're turning the dogs into soy boys by putting soy into the dog food.
Some Americans were switching from beef burgers to soy burgers. French fries were fried in soy oil, and soy-based formula was getting fed to babies. But little did these soy guzzlers know that eating all this estrogen on a daily basis would lead to some unexpected consequences.
It's interesting because all scientists agree that soy acts like estrogen. Even the vegan scientists that are defending it and stuff, they say, of course it acts like estrogen.
But it's not just the actual soybean that was now killing testosterone, it's also what grew on soy. See, after soy is harvested, it's usually stored for—
If only you could just eat soybeans and get your estrogen, get your daily dose of estrogen. I love a man in a dress of Scottish descent, so I'm pro-kill. That's the thing too. It's like a cultural crap, like wearing a dress. It's like that's not. It doesn't make you a woman or make you feminine. You can be mad. The only reason we associate it with that is because we're from a Western society that has, in the last 125 to 50 years, built up a stigma against men wearing dresses. Before that, people wore dresses all the time. Even my grandparents, my grandfather wore a dress when he was little until he was about 4 or 5, and then they switched it out to trousers. But, technically milk is for babies, yeah. As far as having dairy in our diet, I don't know, I'm hit and miss about that. And there's different ways to get the nutrients that you get from milk from other sources as well. If I want something milk-like, I go with either soy milk or almond milk. I'm lactose intolerant. That's not a bad idea. Let's see. Should I do drugs and wreck my body because it feels so good? No, don't do that, Von Rick. That doesn't sound like a good idea at all. Actually, make that 1 in 1,000 because there are 900 apartments in my complex, and I would bet 99% of the residents should not reproduce. LOL. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I said 1 in 5 couples. Yeah. I'm pro-kilt as well.
For months and months and months in dingy storehouses. And what happens when you store food products for months and months and months in dingy storehouses? Mold will start to grow on the beans. That's right, the same mold that you find in a dark, damp basement is floating in your cup of soy milk. And guess what? That mold is also highly estrogenic.
They analyzed the serum mycoestrogen. That's estrogen secreted by molds found in grains. We're going to talk about that. And they looked at 30 girls with early puberty, 30 girls that were healthy.
And they don't mention that you find those same molds in corn. Are they going to say stop eating corn too? I bet whatever lobby that's paying their bills is not going to be pro corn abolishment.
And they found high levels of mold estrogen in the girls with early puberty. What else did they find though? More interestingly, they found the girls were bigger, they fatter, they had more weight. This mold estrogen has a chemical resemblance to...
Could you imagine being the little girl that was just shown in that clip there? I'm not going to go back and show her again, but could you imagine that? What an asshole. Whoever made this, you're an asshole. You could have used a cartoon image of a girl. You could have used a drawing of like a diagram of an obese body. You could have used anything, but you chose to show a real child that may be struggling with obesity for any number of reasons that you don't know anything about. Stop being an asshole.
Anabolic agents used in animal breeding. And there's other papers that say the same thing. They talk about how farmers used to use this specifically to fatten cows. Maybe they still do, but they actually would inject it and use it as a drug. Mold estrogen. It makes the animals fatter. It makes the girls fatter too.
That's right. All those bad side effects you get from eating too much soy, well, it's doubly bad if the soy has mold on it. So all these high estrogen food...
Eating any kind of food with mold on it is going to be worse than eating food without mold on it. My answer to this problem, which doesn't have anything to do with estrogen, is to not serve food with mold. That's just that's just the way it goes. Sorry, we got distracted by the chat. Are we talking about Mothman thing tonight? Yeah, I think I'm going to be free for that. I was invited to that, so I might need to pop in. Sorry, I've been dealing with these frickin' evening headaches. I'll see. So it's going to kind of be contingent, but I'm definitely excited to pop in, or at least listen in. Imagine being a bowling ball and thinking it's okay to speak on looks, you know.
Products that have become the norm in society are just silently crushing your testosterone and causing you to have all these bad side effects. So if you haven't already, it's time to cut all this artificial food out. And when it comes to beef, only eat grass-fed beef. But cutting out artificial food is just the first step, because the next thing you have to avoid like the plague is the water supply.
All right, we're gonna stop there. We'll pick. Yeah, but this is Jake Tran who we're covering here. So anyhow, that's gonna be the sci-fails that I have for you today. Thank you for sticking around. Please remember to be kind, take care. We'll see you next time.
Well, I don't know how many years on this earth I got left. I'm gonna get real weird with it.
I don't shampoo and I don't wipe. I don't believe your liberal hype. Birth control makes the femboys look pretty. Stealing them gals away to the city. They keep adding estrogen to everything we eat. Ain't had this much lady juice since I was on my mama's tea. Don't give me that soy. Oh, give me that soy. I'm telling you, boy. Telling you, boy. I'll eat raw meat every night. Keep them lady products out of my sight. Testosterone makes men of the men. Only the bros come in my gym. They're feminizing fish, frogs, and cows. I'm scared of men in ball gowns. Don't give me that soy. Oh, give me that soy. I'm telling you, boy. Telling you, boy. I'll eat raw meat every night. Keep them lady products out of my sight. Keep that soy away from me. I don't even touch ladies, man. Yeah, keep that soy away from me. Can't risk the contamination. Can't risk the contamination. Put them tight. Keep the soy away from me. Wanna come do some squats? Oh, okay, see you later. Don't give me that soy. 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 I'm telling you, boy.